I need to get it off my chest. For 12 years, I thought I had it all. My wife, Sarah, and I built a life anyone would envy. A beautiful home, 2 great kids, successful careers. We were the couple our friends pointed to and said, "I want what they have." I worked my way up from nothing in finance. I was the sole breadwinner for years while she built her own business, an interior design firm I funded and supported every step of the way. We had a joint account, but we also kept separate finances, a decision that would later save me. I never saw it as my money and her money. It was our money building our future. I trusted her completely. The change was slow, so slow I almost didn't notice. Started about 6 months ago. The little things. Date nights became less frequent. She was always too tired. Conversations became practical about kids' schedules and bills, instead of the dreams we used to share. Then, I started noticing the phone. She was always on it, and she'd angle the screen away from me. If I walked into the room, she'd quickly lock it. That cold feeling in my gut started to grow. The final straw was a conversation I overheard. She was on the porch, talking in a hushed voice. I heard her say, "Just waiting for the right time. The settlement has to be perfect." My blood ran cold. Settlement? I'm not a paranoid man, but in my line of work, I'm paid to see patterns and manage risk. And every pattern was pointing to one thing, an exit strategy. I couldn't ignore it anymore. I hired a discreet private investigator. I had to know. The report came back a week later. No affair. But there was something else. She had been meeting with a high-powered divorce attorney, a real shark known for draining husbands dry. The evidence was a punch to the gut. For 12 years, 2 kids, a life built together. And she was planning her escape without a single word. She wasn't trying to fix us. She was planning her payout. That's when the heartbreak turned into resolve. I couldn't let her dismantle everything I'd worked for, everything we built, out of sheer greed. I wasn't going to be a victim in her calculated plan. So I started my own, quietly. Over the next 2 months, I began legally moving the bulk of my liquid assets, investments, savings, bonuses, into a new, separate trust and account she knew nothing about. I left enough in our joint accounts to not raise suspicion. It wasn't about hiding money. It was about protecting it from a predator I once called my wife. Every transaction felt like a betrayal of our vows, but I knew she had betrayed them first. I finished moving everything just in time. The paperwork was done, the new accounts secure. And then, exactly 1 week later, it happened. I came home from work to find an envelope on the kitchen counter. It was formal, cold, and had her attorney's name on it. It was divorce papers she had finally filed. Her plan was in motion, but she had no idea that her first move was already her last. I stood there in our kitchen holding that envelope. And you know what? I didn't feel anger. I didn't feel sadness. I felt calm, because I knew something she didn't. Her first move in this game had already failed, and she just didn't know it yet. I called my lawyer immediately. "It's time," I said. He already had copies of all the financial moves I'd made over the past 3 months. We were prepared. The legal process began like any other divorce. We exchanged financial disclosures. This is where both parties have to be completely honest about all assets, debts, and income. Sarah's filing was aggressive. She was asking for primary custody of our kids, the house, alimony of $15,000 per month, half of all our assets, including my retirement accounts and investments. When my lawyer submitted our financial disclosures, we played it straight. We listed everything accurately, including the recent moves I'd made. The key difference was timing. All the asset transfers were completed before she filed, which made them perfectly legal. There was nothing to hide, the paper trail was clean. I moved out of the master bedroom and into the guest room. The atmosphere in our house was icy. Sarah would give me these smug little smiles, like she'd already won. Then came the first mediation session. I'll never forget the look on Sarah's face when her lawyer realized what had happened. Her attorney, this slick, expensive lawyer named Roberts, started going through our financial disclosures. He kept flipping pages, getting more and more frustrated. "Where are the investment accounts?" he finally asked. The quarterly bonuses, the stock options. My lawyer, a quiet but brilliant man named Jonathan, simply said, all transfers were completed prior to filing and are documented. Everything was done legally and above board. Sarah's face went from confident to confused to absolutely furious. What transfers? She demanded. What is he talking about? Roberts had to explain to her, right there in the mediation room, that the assets she was counting on were gone, legally protected, out of reach. The mediation session ended abruptly. Sarah was shaking with rage. That night, she confronted me at home. You stole from me, she screamed. That was my money too. I stayed calm. No, Sarah, I said. I protected what I worked for from someone who was planning to take me for everything. You were meeting with your lawyer for 3 months before you filed. Did you think I wouldn't find out? She looked like I'd slapped her. She had no idea I knew about her secret meetings. The reality was starting to sink in. Her perfect plan had collapsed. The next day, I got a call from my lawyer. She's backing down, he said. They want to renegotiate everything. But here's the twist. Sarah didn't just want to renegotiate. She showed up at my office the next day, down on her knees, begging me to take her back. It was a mistake, she cried. I still love you. Let's work this out. After all the planning, all the deception, all the greed, she was willing to pretend it never happened. And that's when I realized the woman I married was gone. This was someone completely different. My wife Sarah was literally on her knees in my office, begging me to take her back after her divorce plan collapsed. The woman who had coldly planned my financial ruin for months was now crying, claiming it was all a mistake and she still loved me. I looked at her, this stranger wearing my wife's face, and I felt nothing. No anger, no love, just emptiness. Get up, Sarah, I said. We both know this isn't about love. This is about money. Your plan failed. The new settlement negotiations were a complete reversal. Her lawyer, Roberts, had lost his swagger. Now they were asking for 50-50 custody, which I wanted anyway. Just the house, no alimony. A small cash settlement. But I had learned something important during this process. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. I knew if I gave an inch, she'd take everything eventually. My lawyer and I counteroffered 50-50 custody with shared legal custody. I keep my premarital assets and all transferred funds. We split the house equity 50-50. No alimony either way. Sarah tried everything. She cried. She threatened. She even got her family to call me, accusing me of being heartless. But I had the ultimate leverage. The truth. The day we signed the final papers, Sarah showed her true colors one last time. She looked across the table and said, You know, I never loved you. I stayed for the money and the lifestyle. I just smiled. I know. And now you get neither. Here's what she didn't know. I had one final move. During our marriage, I had quietly funded her interior design business. The $200,000 startup cost? All from my separate funds. Since the business was in her name and started during marriage, she assumed it was hers. But my lawyer had found an old email where she explicitly acknowledged it was a loan from my separate assets. We presented this as a business debt she owed me. The look on her face was priceless. Not only was she not getting half of everything, she now owed me $200,000. Today, 6 months later, I have my kids 50% of the time and they're thriving. I bought a new house closer to their school. Sarah had to sell her business to pay back the loan. She's living in a small apartment working for someone else. The funny thing? I'm not celebrating. I'm just free. Free from the lies, the manipulation, the constant worry. I learned that sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to protect yourself. If there's one thing I learned from this nightmare, it's this: trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Don't ignore the red flags like I almost did. And to everyone reading this, whether you're going through something similar or just enjoying the story, remember, your peace of mind is worth more than any amount of money. Don't let anyone threaten it. This is the end of nightmare chapter of my life. And that was the story of a man who trusted his instincts and protected himself from a devastating betrayal. What do you think, everyone? Was the OP right to move his assets secretly? Or do you think he should have confronted his wife directly when he first became suspicious? Could this situation have been handled differently? Or was this the only way to protect himself? I truly value your perspective, so please, share your honest opinions and advice down in the comments below. Let's have a meaningful discussion. To every single person watching right now, I want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you for listening to this story, for sharing this emotional journey, and for being a vital part of our community. Your time and attention mean the world to me. If stories like this one, raw, real, and full of tough decisions, resonate with you, then I have a small request. If you could give this video a like, it would help immensely in helping me bring more content to you. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel and clicking the notification bell. Every single subscribe is not just a number. It's a huge source of motivation for me. It's what encourages me to keep finding and sharing these powerful, true stories. If you know someone who would be captivated by this story of strategy and survival, please share this video with them. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video.